For those of you who've been following along my ice cream journey, today was a banner day. It was the day that I took my steeped flavored creams, which have been turned into a base from Salt and Straw Cookbook, using xanthan gum as the emulsifier, which I have never done in ice cream before. So the spearmint was the first flavor I was working with, and I noticed right away that it was creamier than prior versions of my ice cream experiments have been. This is melted dark chocolate with a little bit of canola oil in it. When you pour it over cold spinning ice cream, it spreads out and hardens very quickly, and Salt and Straw calls it chocolate freckles. It actually brought out the spearmint flavor very well, because I was concerned I'd have to add a little bit of, spearmint oil or something to enhance the flavor. And I thought it would be too herbaceous or kind of umami, but it turned out that the spearmint flavor was clean. Xanthan gum is a neutral flavor, so it didn't give it an off flavor, and there's no egg in this base, so it didn't have an eggy off flavor. Nothing for the spearmint to compete with, and the chocolate paired really well with it. So I'll test this tomorrow, but it turned out really well. The second base that I'm spinning today is made with the steeped cream and whole milk with fennel pollen. Then that was turned into an ice cream base with xanthan gum, and it also tastes really good. And I've liked this flavor in the past. I've steeped it into cream and turned it into butter and then made shortbread cookies with it. Fennel pollen in this context tastes very buttery. I thought I would take Seed and Mill's tahini, just like the chocolate liquid, and pour it in, and it would harden immediately in the frozen mixture and sort of scatter. But it ended up getting a little more incorporated, so I have to work on that. So now it tastes like fennel pollen tahini, but that's okay because I did my flavor work and they pair well. So I like the texture of that ice cream, and we'll see how it holds up after a 24-hour rest in the freezer. The last flavor profile is hibiscus, and I used hibiscus blossoms to steep into the cream mixture. I made it into the ice cream base with xanthan gum, and then I'm going to spin it. It's got a nice little pink tinge to it. I thought maybe it'd be nice to add a little more pink, but I don't think that's necessary. And I plan on using it for a matcha gato, so I'm going to pour a nice matcha shot over the hibiscus ice cream in a pretty little glass. So I noticed that all three of these bases froze much more slowly than my original anglaise. So that was the only difference. It was a longer time freezing, but I believe that the ice crystals that have been formed are very small, and I don't think they're going to affect the texture. I think the xanthan is going to help emulsify and hold in that water. And I think I've done a really good job in the freezer of keeping it closed and getting everything in there and keeping it frozen as, quickly and as steadily as possible. So my next video is going to be how to look at the ice creams and how they performed, and then pairing them as desserts to look pretty and taste great.